Hi everyone, welcome back to Wiki Design. In today's video, we're doing a live website audit for Dr. Nicole Bringer of Mamas and Misses.
Hi, guys. I am Dr. Nicole from Mamas and Misses Physical Therapy, and I am just a small business entrepreneur, kind of a one-man show right now, plus my husband. And we are just basically my main services that I'm offering. I do physical therapy in person, virtually, and then I also have now started offering online courses. And I feel like right now my website might not exactly reflect what my business is all about and how I just am really passionate about helping moms, and I want to find a service that fits them. And so that's why I'm really excited to be talking with you guys, and because I feel like my skills as a physical therapist are amazing, but as a website designer, they are subpar. So
Yeah, we're looking forward to going over everything that we looked over on the website, and we can give you some really good tips on what you can do moving forward. Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
So we're going to break it down with starting with design, then we're going to get into some technical aspects, and that will be more Mark's audits and stuff that he did. Then we're going to get into accessibility and the mobile version of the website. So
Okay,
I'm
great.
going to start with the design. So we're just going to pull up your homepage, and the first thing I would recommend is I really like how you have the pop-up for the opt-in, but I think that having you in the background is kind of it makes it a little bit hard to read. So I would just
Okay.
maybe remove your image or put your image on the side of it. I think that would look a lot better, and it would make it less tall, especially on mobile. You don't want people to scroll if they don't have to for pop-ups, so I think
Okay.
that would solve that problem. And if we go out of the pop-up into the home page, so there's a lot that I really like. I like the image that you have on the main hero area. I think that is perfect for what you're doing. I like your logo. I think it's really cute and fun. But I did kind of think as you're scrolling down the website, it kind of almost looks like two different sites. Like this top area looks like one website, and then as you scroll down, this almost looks like a blog, and that's not really what it is. So I actually mocked up a version of the home page, kind of like a wireframe layout in Photoshop as to what I think you could change it to. So basically taking some of those different areas that you currently already have and just kind of laying them out a little differently. So at the top we have your header, which would be your logo and your navigation. And then we have that hero area that you have. That's I really like that. But then instead of having that area that you have underneath, I would put the services that you offer underneath and lay them out in 3 columns. So you have your pre-pregnancy, pregnancy, and postpartum laid out in 3 columns. And then underneath your testimonials, then underneath that, I would put a little area about you with your headshot on the left, maybe that picture that you had in your pop-up. I really like that picture. I think that's a really good one. And then just a little bit about you, and then a link to your about page. Then underneath that, I would put the subscribe that you currently have in the sidebar. I think that would look really good underneath that. And then your Instagram feed below that, and then your footer.
Okay. I love it.
Okay, so I think overall, like, you have a lot of really good content on here. I think that it kind of gets lost because there's a lot of different places to click. So just simplifying everything and kind of just making it a little bit easier for people to figure out all the different services that you offer, I think would really help.
Oh, I love those suggestions. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
And another thing, if we go down to the testimonial, one thing I'll say about this image, it didn't feel like it really fit with your overall branding.
Okay.
I like the image, but I don't think the colors necessarily work because it's kind of like darker and orangey, whereas everything else seems brighter and pink. So maybe just change that image. But
Okay.
I like the content in there. I think the content's really important, but I think it kind of looks a little disconnected.
Yeah, that's really helpful. That's one of the things we're struggling with, is having continuity between even just our ads and then getting to the website and feeling like they're in the same place that they originally clicked. So that's really helpful to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to go into here?
Yeah, so I clicked on this page for your postpartum recovery course, and I really liked how this is a really nice designed landing page, and I think for the other courses, having pages like this where people can get more information about the courses would be really helpful, because right now if you go to your courses page, it kind of, when you click on those courses, you have to sign in to get more information. Whereas on this one, you don't have to do that. So it almost maybe reverse the process, because I'm sure you have pages about these courses, but you can't necessarily see them until you sign up for an account. So,
Yeah.
So if you go here,
Yeah.
it's
So you have all of these different courses, but the
Slow-
postpartum recovery course has this really nice page that you can get more information on, and I think all the other courses should have
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
And we did make those. So where do you guys suggest, where's the least cumbersome place to put those, I guess?
I would just create.
when you click here on this page, when you go to courses, have it here to those different
So you
landing
can
pages.
have a grid maybe on the courses page of all the different courses that you offer, kind of like this, but maybe it's just like an image, and then underneath is the title and a button that says learn more. And then when you click learn more, it would
Then
go
it would go
to
here.
a landing page versus a page where you have to sign up. I think that would help with the overall process of
Yeah.
people signing up, because I really, really like the postpartum recovery landing page. If you go back to that,
This one, yeah.
I think that, like, this is perfect. This is what people want to know when they sign up for courses. Like, what are they getting? What is it about? Who you are? And you covered that perfectly in this page. So I think having that for all the other pages would really work well.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, so we already have those pages. It's just a matter of making them more accessible. Okay.
Yeah, just flip flop the process, and I think then you'll be good to go if you already have them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because how do you access those other landing pages now then?
So when you click the learn more button and then you go to the sign up, I'm hoping you're going to help me with my speed issue here, because clearly I can see that they're loading so slow. Yeah, so then click up the sign up
Over
instead
here.
of login, and then that should take you to the like course sales page,
Okay.
which again is like mysterious because people are like, I don't want to sign up. I just
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah, that was like the very first time I visited the website. I thought you had to sign up to get that more information. So yeah, like she
Okay.
said, if you could have this first somehow, then that would definitely benefit the users.
The last thing that I want to talk about is I think you should include a blog on your site, because I know that you do YouTube videos, and I think that you could include those on your website as a way to cross promote your content. So not everybody is going to go to your website and know that you have a YouTube channel. So if you say, hey, here are my videos about these topics, then people will go to your YouTube channel, potentially subscribe, and then you can, on your YouTube videos, say subscribe to my channel. So it's a good way to cross promote, and it's really easy to embed a video from YouTube onto a WordPress site. You basically just click share on the video and then put it in a WordPress post, and it will format everything for you. So I definitely think that would be a really good addition for you to have on the site, and it gives that more like that personal approach, which I think in your videos you're very good at, so people will connect with you and want to sign up for your services.
Okay. Would you put that right on the homepage, or is that a separate tab at the top?
I would create a separate tab at the top that's called blog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then maybe you could even add an extra call to action section for your YouTube channel, because I think the only way is people would have to click here, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. This is a total newbie question, but do I just add it each week and change it, or how do I just like add each video
Yeah.
so
You
it
can-
update? Okay.
Yeah, so you just create a new post in WordPress and give it a title, and you can literally just go to your YouTube channel, click on the video, and hit share, and it will give you a link, and you copy that and paste it into the body of the post, and it will show the video. It'll embed it in there
Yeah,
for you.
it should with your theme. Yeah, no, that's
Okay.
good. And then what you want to do is match up the same keywords you have on your YouTube channel and your titles. And so you're going to get double exposure. So a lot of times we post things, a YouTube video, we'll make a blog post pretty much identical, and we rank in 2 or 3 spots now on page 1 if we rank on page 1. So it kind of gives you like double the exposure with Google for sure.
Now Mark's going to get into the geeky technical stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the first thing I'll pull up, let me pull this up right here. So this is a tool that a lot of people in SEO and just other web designers, they use. It's called Screaming Frog, and it's a free tool if you have a smaller website like yours. But for bigger websites, there's a little bit of a cost to it. But this tool is great because what it does is it crawls your website and just gets as much data from it as possible. So it's making sure you have alt tags and descriptions, and if you have anything missing or anything like that. So on the right side over here under overview, I'll just kind of go over the things that I saw that you can improve on. And then at the end of this, I'm going to go up here and export the report for you and make it easy for you to kind of figure out which ones are important. Okay, so overall your website is 239 different like URLs. So this is including all your images, all of your files. So it's not a big website, which is good. So this tool was very quick to crawl it. Okay, so the first thing I usually look at is making sure that your website's responding correctly. So whenever you have 200 success response codes, that means that the web browser and Google are able to see the website's active. So you only had a few redirects, it looked like here. So nothing out of the ordinary here. So I didn't see any issues there. You don't have any 400 errors or 500 errors. So overall, you're good when it comes to the response codes here. Now this is when you start to get into the page titles. So the page titles for your websites are up here. So you can see like right here on your home page, you just have it called home and then your brand name here. So in this tool, it will show you if you're missing any, and you're not, so that's good. So you don't have any issues there. There are some duplicate ones. These look to be, if you look under here, it's flagging it as duplicate titles. So if you can go into these pages individually and just kind of change them up a little bit, that's going to help. So you want to make sure that you do place some keywords in here because this is going to help for users and for Google. So whenever you do update your titles, just make them descriptive. And if you have the ability to add some keywords, you can do that.
Okay.
It does show that you're missing, I believe most of your pages are missing the meta description here. So you can go in. Do you have an SEO plugin installed or no?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Because you can install a Yoast, Rank Math, any of the free SEO tools, and you can go to each page and add a meta description.
Actually, I think we do have the Yoast.
Okay.
Now that you're saying that word. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so you can go in and because right now I'm pretty sure you didn't add any meta descriptions to each page. So you can go in and just add a little meta description, a sentence or two describing the page. It's kind of just best practice to do that, but Google, the funny thing with Google is they don't always use your meta descriptions. If for some reason Google decides that they have a better meta description, they're just going to use theirs. So you can put it in there. It does help a little bit. So you can add, like I said, just like with the titles, you can add a few keywords. Kind of that helps a little bit with SEO.
Okay.
Yeah, meta keywords aren't really valid these days. I'll close that one. So your H1 tags. So it looks like a few of your pages are missing some H1 tags. So which page was that?
Our Story was one of them.
Our Story. Okay. So yeah, it looks like you just have some images, some text here. So yeah, you could go ahead and add like an H1 tag above here with maybe a few keywords. That could help.
So it's like H1 is just a little title on that page.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I go back to like the home page here, yeah. So this is probably an H1 right here. So the big ones, yeah. So that's an H1. Yeah.
H1.
So yeah, you could just go into like any of these pages. When I give you the report, it will show you. Just go ahead and just add an H1 to each of these pages if you can.
Okay.
That would be good, yeah. Because when you do an H1, that's basically telling Google, hey, this is what the page is about. And, they do look at H1 tags usually first, and then they start to go down. But, that's when you get into the other ones where you're missing a bunch of H2s. So what I usually recommend is just as long as you have an H1 tag, you could just stick with that. But if you have multiple titles on the page, then you could start to have H2s and then H3s, if that
Where
makes
it
sense.
makes sense
Yeah.
to have them. If you're splitting up your content into different sections, then it would make sense to have an H2 tag. But if it doesn't make sense, don't add it, because that could actually hurt more than
Yeah.
help. So just when you're writing it, if it makes sense to have a heading on that section, then put it
Just
in
do
there.
it, yeah.
Okay.
But overall, your website's you're not missing too much. Since it's a smaller website, you can easily manage this. So the next section is alt text. So it looks like you're missing alt text on some of these images. Are you familiar with alt text or no?
I just recently learned about it from your channel.
Okay. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
have this really cool tool within, it's a Google Chrome extension. I forget what it's called. It's called Get Details. So if I can go onto a website and right click on an image, and it says right here, View Image Info. So I can tell right here that like this image is missing the alt text, but you have a title in here. So you can easily go into your WordPress media library and just add an alt text to it. So in this case, it would be
Rock climbing.
woman climbing rock. You can add a few keywords in here. This is an opportunity where it can help the search engines, but you're also increasing your accessibility and making it easier for people with screen readers to understand what the image is. So yeah, so I'll give you the report, and you don't have too many. This will just take half an hour to go through each of these and just add an alt text to it. So that's going to help a lot. And
Are they usually like 3 to 4 words, or what length do you recommend?
whatever it takes to describe the image, but not be spammy about it. So in that situation, it could just be, woman climbing rock, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. The other images could be like pregnant woman or something like that.
Yeah. Let me see what this one is. So yeah, you could add your name here. When
you could put like Nicole Bringer from Mamas and Mrs. Pregnancy photo, something along those lines.
Okay.
And another thing I noticed on your images, so if you look up here, you just name this image called IMG_2229. So that's probably like from your camera roll or something. So what you can do is it's a little bit of a longer process, but you can go ahead and rename these images to something a little more descriptive, and you can add a few keywords in here. So what Google does is if they can't find the context for what the image is about, through alt text or any of the surrounding text around it, they will use your image name here to kind of get an idea of what it is. So that's why when Google sees this, if they have no idea what the image is, they don't know what IMG 22229 is. So
they still have no idea what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So that one is going to take a little bit longer than alt text, but maybe moving forward, always just think about how you can name your images a little more descriptive. That could help for sure.
And I do that before I upload it to the website, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Photoshop or whatever tool you use, yeah. It's
okay.
Yeah, images there's a lot to images. You got alt text, you got image sizes you got to worry about naming. Yeah, there's a lot of little steps, but once you get in the flow of doing it, it's very quick and easy. The other one is it's usually best practice to have your images more compressed, and in most cases, you want to keep your images under 100 kilobytes. So this is one reason why your website is loading a little bit slower, is because there are some larger images on the website. So later when I do the speed part, you could see all the image sizes, but you could see right here that some of them are really large. You've got some images that are 6 megabytes. So that's a very large image. You would want to go in there and
reduce the size.
Reduce the size, yeah.
And do I do that before uploading it, or can that be done once? Okay.
Yeah, you can. It's best to, depending on what image software you use, crunch it there. Yeah, so you would use a tool like this, and I'll give you a quick example. They have a sample image here. So you can see right here that on the left side, the image is like at 2.7 megabytes, huge image. And with this tool, you can easily go in here and visually see when you compress it and you start to go back and forth that like very little's changing in the resolution unless you get really close. But you could see the image size is already at 600 kilobytes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is a really good tool. There's a lot of WordPress plugins that can do this, but we usually recommend, as much of a pain as it is, to go single image at a time, because you want to be able to go in there and visually click and drag and see how it's compressed.
Yeah. So
Okay.
maybe
Squish. Okay.
Yeah, this is a great. It's actually made. This is made by Google, and the algorithms that they use to crunch it is like next level. It's better than any of the other tools out there that I can find. Yeah.
So moving forward, I would say if you plan on uploading any new images to the site, just take that extra step and go to Squish and
Yeah.
squish them before, because it really does make a difference
Yep.
in the load time.
That's what we use all the time. Yeah, I try to get as
Okay.
many people on there as possible. Yeah.
Okay. So, and if I'm changing, I mean, it would be helpful to change the title. So if I have some free time, it could be helpful to find the image, rename it,
Yeah.
squish it, and then re-put it on the
Yep.
website.
Yep. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. It's a few extra steps, but it's well worth it. So let's move on to some of the speed things that you were mentioning. So yeah, this is the GT metrics system, and you can see right here that these are the big web vital scores that Google's gonna start putting a lot more weight on starting in May. So this may sound really bad right here at 15.4 for the largest contentful paint, and I know exactly what's causing the issue. It's your pop-up window. So what's happening
Okay.
is there's a big delay on your pop-up window. And so what's happening is a tool like this, and I'm pretty sure Google's going to ding you too. So if you have a pop-up window and it does take a while, it actually is sitting there the whole time. It's sitting there for 15 seconds, and then it loads up your pop-up, and then it considers that when the page is done loading. So you can either not remove the pop-up, you can either trigger it quicker, or maybe have it where if you look right here where my mouse is, if you move your mouse outside of a web page, that's called exit intent. So you could have it where if a user's about to leave your website, you could pop it up then. So not sure what plugin you're using for your pop-up, but if you have the ability to do it where there isn't a huge delay, that's going to help you with this score right here.
Okay. And I think we intentionally had the delay so that it wasn't like, you know how you sometimes just get to a website and you're like, oh, I'm
It's
already
right
in a
there.
pop-up.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's going to hurt me in other ways if I don't
Yeah,
do that.
that's what's weird about these tools. It's like they ding you, but if you want it to be that way, it's like, you got to figure out what's more important. You want to score well on the tools, or do you want the pop-up to delay? So, yeah, as far as this tool, I did run a bunch of different tests on other websites that I ran, and I noticed that these pop-ups is what causes these issues. So,
Okay.
just
So
something
have
to
it
think
pop
about.
up sooner.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you want. Yeah, that could help for sure. And the first thing I usually look at after looking at these numbers, I go to the waterfall, and what this is it's showing all of the different requests that it is loading for your website. So I could see that you have 157 requests, 18 megabytes. So there's some red flags here where there's a lot of requests. So there's a lot of, you could see right here like JavaScript and CSS files. So there's a lot loading on your page, especially on your home page, that this could be cleaned up quite a bit. You could either use like a caching plugin. You could start to compress some of your JavaScript and your CSS through plugins. So there is some stuff that you could do to increase
This is also where changing up the design to make it simpler will help as well, because the less you have on the page,
Yeah.
the faster it's going to load.
Okay, so how you suggested not having it on the sidebar and here, and that mock-up that you gave me, that you're saying that alone would help.
Yeah, because there's not going to be as many images or things loading onto the page.
And
Okay.
where else you get dinged right here is, I see you do have your YouTube video here. So if your plugins or your theme if you could do lazy loading on this, that helps a lot, because what's happening is it's loading up all of this stuff for YouTube automatically. So as soon as the user gets to your web page, it's loading up all of this stuff down here. So even if the user's not going down here, it's still loading this stuff up. So you could do more lazy loading. So you could do that with plugins, or maybe just have a static image here. So there's a couple ways
Okay.
around it. Is this an Instagram
Yeah,
plugin?
that's an Instagram.
Yeah, so we have this on our travel website, and you basically can't do anything about these because it's pulling in from Instagram.
But the less you have on the page, I think you'll see a significant increase in the performance. I would keep the Instagram because I think it's something that people will probably be interested in. It's good for user experience, but do it the way I said, maybe put it at the bottom of the page and have less stuff. It's going to help.
Yeah.
Okay,
so now I'll move on to accessibility. So this tool is called Wave, and there is a Google Chrome extension you can add. So I just click this button, and it will crawl your website and run it against some accessibility test. And overall, when you get right to the report, it will tell you how many errors you have. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you fix errors first, and then you can move on to like contrast and then alerts if you have extra time and resources. But it's best practice to fix errors first and then kind of go from there. So when I ran it, it looks like there's images on your website. So this probably is your theme. It's using images for spacers. Basically what that means is there's an image somewhere, there's images throughout your website that are adjusting how your website's laid out. So it's usually not best practice to do that. And I'm pretty sure it's your theme doing that. So it's better practice to use CSS instead of using spacer images. I know that sounds really complicated, but
Yep.
yeah, this is something that is probably at the theme level. So you would look into that and just kind of figure out what's causing these images to lay out your website, and then remove the alt text. Yeah, that's a little more advanced. And these other ones, it looks like you're missing form labels. So on your contact form over here.
So the label is what would be at the top. Like, you know how sometimes forms it'll say a label like email, and then it'll have the box where you put it in. That's what that means. So technically, the way you have it isn't accessible for people with screen readers. So they do say it's best practice to always have the label.
Yeah.
I know that's not always the most aesthetically pleasing option, but from a accessibility standpoint, it does make a difference.
Ding you,
Yep. So right now, where you are hovering, it doesn't say email in there, and they want it to.
It says it in the placeholder, but it should say it above.
Above it, yeah. That's called a label.
Oh.
So the one inside is called a placeholder, and then if there's a field above, that's the label. So.
Okay.
If it allows you to, you could add that, and that should fix that area.
Okay.
And then whenever it's on this tool, whenever it's kind of grayed out, that means that it's hidden. So I believe these other forms is probably that pop-up window.
It might be the pop-up, yeah.
So that's why I like this tool a lot, because it you can kind of visually click on this, and it will bring you down to where there's a problem. So the next one is an empty header. Where is that one at? Oh, right here. So it looks like you have a widget or something over here, and there's no heading. There's no heading. There's no H1 tag. So it's just like whatever widget you have right here might be causing an issue.
Changing the layout should fix that.
Changing the layout will help for sure.
Yeah, so this is the Google's mobile friendly test. So we ran it through here, and the page is mobile friendly, meaning that's how it looks like on a phone. What I recommend, if you are going to make some changes to the layout, run it through this. Again, we'll give you the link to this as well. Just run it through this and make sure that it says that the page is mobile friendly, because as you change things around, you just want to make sure that it still looks good on a mobile device, because that is what Google crawls first. So if it's not, then they'll ding you some points for that. But overall, I think that with making a couple changes like to the pop-up and stuff, that's going to help the look on mobile, and just changing the layout up slightly. But everything looked pretty good the way it was now. As far as like nothing was getting cut off, there wasn't things overlapping or anything like that. So I think you're good.
Yeah, I guess my last question is there any suggestions that you have just for overall continuity of the website, and that my tone with ads and things with women is just to be very conversational and more like what you'd see in an Instagram post. And were there any pages, or even like the sales page, any suggestions that you have on, making that happen better, or we're losing a lot of people. What we're just finding with our ads, we're just losing a lot of people at the sales page. And part of that might be the fact that it's really hard to get back to the sales page. So let's say they see the ad at work and then they go home and go to look for it on my site. It's kind of hidden.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that change will help. But is there any other recommendations?
I think the tone that you use is very, like, it's very conversational, very friendly. I think you're good on that. I think really changing some of those things that I talked about in the beginning with the course area, making it where it goes to the landing page first, and then people can get a good idea of what it is that the course is about. I think that's going to really help with overall signups, because right now you don't really get an idea of what you're getting yourself into. One of the things that you might want to do in your ads, if you're talking about a specific course, right now you're not able really to link them to that page without them signing up. So if you create those pages and run ads, you can link them directly to the landing page versus your home page. I think that could help as well.
Well, we have been doing that to the landing page, but then if they ever try to go back without going to their history, they're not going to be able to find it really very easy. So,
yeah, so I think just making the changes and kind of how the flow is going to help overall with signups.
Okay. And do you think the fact that the sales page is more of like a orangey red is a problem? I like that pink, but my husband said that the sales page, like what he looked up, that color is better for sales pages. Do you think that's okay that they're different, or
This color, you mean?
Yeah.
I would just test it, honestly. Maybe make one page where it has pink buttons instead of orange and see what happens. See if more people sign up for it. I mean, that's really the best way to figure these things out is
A/B testing, yeah.
Just do those A/B tests. That's what they're called. So maybe try that out and monitor the results, monitor the signups, and see what happens. And then if one works better than the other, then go with that.
Okay.
Thanks for watching this live website audit. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this, leave a comment down below with a website that you think we should review. And for more website review videos, check out these ones right here.